Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
Is that something that you struggle with in terms of wanting to be grown, but sometimes falling
Judge,
back on being...
I always had, a handsome baby face, so the ladies always kind of just catered to me.
In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. Stop. Is that true? I don't want you to understand. I want you to overstand.
Yes, sir.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. That's not gonna happen. Not up in here, not today. And boom goes the dynamite.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Sam Williams claims his sister co-signed a lease for him and says he was forced to move after she quit paying his rent. Mr. Williams is suing Hannah Williams in the amount of $3,600.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
The defendant is countersuing for $7,600.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Third Deputy Thomas. All right, I have a brother and sister suing each other. Mr. Williams, you're suing for $3,600, and your sister is suing you in the amount of $7,600. We're going to start with you. What's going on, man?
Yes, a whole lot. I'm
What's the
suing
deal?
my sister for breaking our lease.
Okay, you said breaking our lease as if she was also...
She co-signed. Sorry.
She co-signed, but she wasn't living there, from what I recall.
She co-signed. She was offered to help me out.
She wasn't living there with you.
No.
You were living there by yourself.
Yes.
You needed someone to co-sign.
Yes.
Because?
Because I was down. I was financially down. About a year ago, I broke up. My girl broke up with me.
You were living with her?
Yes.
Who was paying the bills?
We were splitting it.
You were on your own, doing your thing, no problems?
I wouldn't say no problems.
Okay, there were problems.
I lost my job.
Why did you lose your job?
Late, tardy. Too many write-ups and stuff.
Why were you late? Why were there too many write-ups about you? You knew you had a job.
Me and my girl, we were sharing the car.
Why didn't you have your own car?
Man, it'd be like that sometimes.
Whose car did it belong to?
It technically was in her name. Once we got into it...
Why didn't you have your own source of transportation, whether it was driver, public transportation? Because you knew this was going to be a problem after the first tardy.
It was more on me, being immature, settling.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
All right. Is that something that you struggle with in terms of wanting to be grown, but sometimes falling
Judge,
back on being
I always
not
had,
grown?
a handsome baby face, so the ladies always kind of just catered to me.
Stop.
That was the truth. So, I just got too used to that.
That's a lot to take in.
Got too used to that.
I got to marinate on all of what you just said, because you decided you were going to light that candle. All right.
Yeah, man. I had to give you the reason.
Sis, talk to me. What's going on?
I'm countersuing because...
No, I'm talking about what's going on with him. I know you're suing. I know that's why you're here. You're countersuing for $7,600. What's going on with this one?
I'm really worried about him and his,
Talk to me.
the debting, like the spending, wanting to be a big spender.
What's the story with the ladies and him being able to draw on women who find him appealing? Is that true?
I believe so. Like the looks have went to his head, like conceited, like being handsome, that's great, but when you're using it for the wrong reasons.
And what do you think are the wrong reasons? Talk to Judge.
Like,
Eyes on Judge.
Not stepping up to the plate.
This isn't the first
He's
time.
30, he's in his 30s now, and it's time to...
This isn't the first time.
No.
You've helped him
Clearly.
out before?
Yes, I have.
Have you been disappointed before?
Yeah, he does have a history of lying.
You see him all the time. You're talking to me. Right?
Yes.
He has a history of lying.
Yes.
About what?
Like paying back. He will pay back, but it's not when he says it's going to be. It's not the amount that he says.
Then why co-sign with someone who's already shown you who they are?
Well, he did have a good job. He did become a construction manager.
I'm here.
He did become Excuse me, Your Honor. He did become a construction manager, so I did have faith in him that he had turned over a new leaf in his life.
And what type of job was this, you said?
Construction, the manager of construction.
You were a construction manager?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me about that job.
I was a manager. I rose to the top, you know. I finally made it. I started as a...
How long were you working there?
I started off early, I usually say 5 years. Cut it, long story short.
You worked there for 5 years?
Yeah, was a manager for 2.
And manager for 2. So then I would imagine you would be able to pay your rent. What happened?
That comes the settling part. That's where that comes in. I lost my job.
Why'd you lose your job?
My girl started holding it down.
Well, wait a minute. Are you talking about this is the job that you were too late for?
Coming up on America's Court.
Well, when you broke up with the girlfriend, where were you living?
When I broke up with the girlfriend, I was in between streets. That's why I had to come to my sister.
You were living on the streets?
Cars, basically, different girls, long story short, different girls.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Sam Williams, who is suing his sister, Hannah Williams, for breach of contract.
All right, so you lose that job, and...
Second job I lost because I was too late.
Got it. You lost the job, you break up with your girl, you need a place to live.
Went to Big Sis.
But where are you now working after losing this job?
See, what happened was, time is hard, and I ain't working.
What do you mean time is hard?
It's hard, I'm not working. I can't find a job.
Why can't you find a job?
I kept it from my sister, basically ego-driven, like not trying to let her know I failed.
What do you mean you kept it from your sister?
I didn't let her know that I was fired, Your Honor.
Okay. You didn't let her know you were fired. You told her you broke up with your girlfriend, and did you tell her you had a job?
Technically, I did.
Well, take the word technical out of that sentence.
Yes, I did.
You told her you
but
had
I
a
did
job.
have a job. I didn't let her know when I was fired. That's the situation.
So you let her believe that the job that you had been fired from, you still had it.
Basically. Now we came somewhere.
And did you put that information on the lease application that you were working at the place you were no longer employed with?
Yeah, they knew where I was working at.
But you said that you had been fired.
During the lease, when she agreed to sign the lease for me, I was working.
This was the place you were working at?
Yes, sir.
You broke up with the girlfriend while you were still working at this location?
No. Yes. I was working there, and then during that time, that's when I got fired. Basically, while I came to her, I was
when you broke up with the girlfriend, where were you living?
When I broke up with the girlfriend, I was in between streets. That's why I had to come to my sister.
You were living on the streets?
Cars, basically, different girls, long story short, different girls, and yeah. I needed somewhere stable to stay, so I came to my sister.
What's going on with you?
Trying to get my life together.
What's going on
She was supposed to help me with that.
What's going on with you?
I'm being sued.
What's going on with you?
I just told you. I need my money.
You in the shallow part of the pool.
Oh,
I want you to go and do a deep dive. What's going on with you? You have any kids?
No kids, Your Honor.
Okay, that's a good thing. Because you were definitely not ready for that. But you're going from woman to woman and using them and trying to figure things out. I get it. Has he been this way for some time?
For some time, you hear this is how he really is. Like
1
his
year,
look.
5 years, 10 years, 15 years? How long?
All my life, I answer it. All my
Since
life.
high school.
But I'm realizing it. That's, you know what I'm saying? I came to a realization. Like, I got to slow up on that. I can't get away with that forever. I'm going to be old one day.
Mm-hmm. You agreed to sign this lease thinking that he was working at the job he had already been fired from?
Yes.
Okay. You get the place, and then what?
So I get the place, I hustled up some money where I could cover up the first couple months of the rent.
How'd you get the money?
Side jobs, you know, getting it how I live. That's a long story short. Getting it how I live, Your Honor.
What does that mean?
Getting my money how I get it. I wasn't working a 9 to 5.
What does that mean?
I wasn't working a 9 to 5.
I understand that. So how did you get the money?
How I live, side jobs.
Like what?
In the streets.
Okay.
Hustling.
Okay.
I'm kind of
And hustling women.
He's good with his hands, Your Honor. He is good with his hands. I will give him that. So he do know how to do handy jobs and stuff like that.
The bottom line is the first couple of months, and then month 3, what happens?
Well, month 3 came, and I wasn't
street
able.
life is not covering
Exactly.
the nut.
I'm V100. The funds ran low.
And so did you tell your sister that?
No.
Okay. Who covered month 3?
Big sis.
Okay.
Emphasis on sis.
Who covered month 4?
Stronger emphasis on sis.
Who covered month 5?
Probably the strongest emphasis. That's where she said no more. So nobody.
What's going on with you?
It's nothing going on, Your Honor. I'm just trying to figure things out. I want to get my money so I can.
There's something going on with you.
So what happened was, listen, I'm here suing because I'm in the hole, $3,600. I need my money. I have storage fees that I have to pay for. I had the transportation, and here you go.
You want to see all this?
Yeah, please.
Give me everything you
I
want to
need
give the judge.
I need all my money, so
Everything
I need
you
all
want
the
to give him.
facts. This is the main one right here.
To get
Surprise, surprise, he signed the lease.
Okay, to get
Yeah,
your money,
surprise,
give me
surprise.
everything you want him to look at.
Okay, here goes a.
One
yeah.
more.
I
One
know
more.
my
There we go.
All
There go
right.
the agreement right there.
I don't
Your
think
Honor.
he's getting his money, but here's the
I mean,
paper.
the law is the law. It might look like what it is, you know what I mean? But her name is on that lease. That's big sis.
Why do you think I'm looking at you like I am?
Like a disappointed father or something?
That's interesting you would say that.
Coming up on America's Court.
So I always come to her. I will give her that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
She always rescues me. See, she calls me a problem, but I don't see the problem. She used to it.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Sam Williams, who is suing his sister, Hannah Williams, for breach of contract.
What's the relationship with you and your dad?
I'm glad you mentioned it. It was rough. Well, growing up, I would say he stepped up. Our mom was in and out in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Hard life, whatever. Love my mom, but it is what it is. But Pop stepped up. We got into it.
Over
Throughout
what?
the years, just me growing up, and certain rules, you know, in this house I wasn't rocking with, like straight up. And I went to school and I left him where he was at, and that's what it was with him. So I always come to her.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
She always rescues me. She calls me a problem, but I don't see the problem. She used to it.
That's the problem.
That is the problem.
You don't see it.
No,
clearly.
not him. The problem is you. Because you know what's going on. And you love them. Sometimes you got to love them hard and drop them. That tough love works. You don't want to engage in tough love with him. Because, why?
Because
Look at
he
me.
thinks
Look at me.
She already thinks she about
Because
money.
he has this attitude like he's expecting for the
Why
same.
don't you let him fail and be a man?
I believed him this time, Your Honor, because like I said, he did have a good job.
You said this has been going on for a while now. You are in denial, and it is not just a river in Egypt. You got issues with managing money.
Coming up on America's Court.
If someone is having uncontrollable issues of debt, what starts to happen is you are living in that chaos of financial impropriety and uncertainty.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Sam Williams, who is suing his sister, Hannah Williams, for breach of contract.
You ever heard of Debtors Anonymous?
Nah.
You know what that is?
Like alcohol anonymous?
Exactly. What's Alcohol Anonymous?
That sounds bad, though. I don't think I'm that bad, man.
Okay.
It's like nice things.
Okay. if someone is having uncontrollable issues of debt and they always find themselves coming up short, what starts to happen is you are living in that chaos of financial impropriety and uncertainty, and it's making you powerless in terms of moving forward with your life. Do you think that could be something that maybe you're open to receiving, that there could be a problem there?
Nah, not really.
Okay.
I don't know, but what I will say is I don't like beefing with my sister over money. You know what I'm saying? So
let's talk about that. You're countersuing him for this $7,600. What does that reflect?
The first month.
You're looking at some documents.
You want to
show
show
those
that?
to Deputy Thomas, please.
Yep.
But you give me everything you want to give them.
Okay.
Anything else?
And then there's the.
Yeah, give me everything.
Okay.
Yeah, let them
That's
know.
where.
All right, thank you.
All right. 'Cause I know what he's suing for. He just gave me, and I'll take a look at his information. Because you had to cover 3 months. Yes?
Yes.
So, and the rent was how much a month?
$1,900.
So that's $5,700. But you're suing for an additional $1,900. What's that?
The cancel of the lease.
You canceled the lease because you were a co-signer, right?
Yes.
And you had to pay monies to get out of the lease.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
These are text messages. Why am I getting another email saying rent is past due? You still haven't paid me back for last month. Do you have a job?
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
You are suing your sister who paid 3 months rent and co-signed for you because you had to move and then you had to put your stuff in storage.
Inconvenience, hugely.
She was supposed to just keep paying until the lease expired?
From what my understanding is, that's what a cosigner is.
I'm going to start with your sister's claim based on the evidence and the testimony before this court. The gavel will come down in favor of the defendant as it relates to her counterclaim against you. Because even though she is a co-signer, the understanding was that you were going to make these payments and that you were going to make this commitment. You did not honor that. She had to come out of pocket. She is completely within her legal realm to go after the monies that you promised that you would come up with in order for you to live and enjoy this apartment.
What about me?
So you will pay her the $7,600. Now, as it relates to your claim against your sister for terminating the lease, the gavel comes down in favor of your sister because your agreement was, I have a job, I will pay these monies. You entered into this agreement under false pretenses, you lied, you committed fraud. And so you're not going to benefit in this court, not today, not up in here. So you wanted to hear whether or not you won. You didn't. That is the order. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff has been ordered to pay $7,600.
It's time for you to step up. I want to see you get where you used to be when you had that construction job.
I could have been chilling with my ladies. That's where you got me at.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.